It was eerily silent at night in Capital City, a place that is typically bustling with the constant hum of politics and power. Now it sat in a spooky silence. Within the Center for Emergency Operations, a team of the most powerful people in human history came together. Their faces were illuminated only by the icy glow of Victor's wall-mounted monitors. Victor Hall, an experienced diplomat with a distinguished career, adjusted his tie. Silver streaked through his well-groomed hair, a testament to his 55 years. His sharp eyes searched the room as he exuded an air of authority. His presence commanded respect, a result of years spent navigating treacherous political waters. "A 7-hour council meeting," joked General Chris Gale, a tall man with a booming laugh that could shake walls. But his humor failed this time, barely eliciting a smirk from Victor. The tension in the room was palpable. The sound of red alarms filled the air, accompanied by the frantic flashes of emergency lights. On the monitors, chaos unfolded. Explosions in Johannesburg, Beijing, and Toronto. Military leaders barked orders into headsets, their voices muffled by the cacophony of destruction. "What the hell is going on?" Chris demanded, slamming his fist on the table. Before anyone could answer, the monitors cut to an image of a creature, eerily constructed, with golden and translucent blue skin. Its blazing eyes reflected the emblem of the Galactic Empire behind it. The alien spoke, its voice calm but filled with disdain. "Your defiance has been noted. Consider this a reminder of the Empire's power." Victor's stomach twisted as the feed ended, revealing a list of casualties. Among them were friends, colleagues, and even the President of Earth. But Victor's voice remained steady, despite the storm brewing inside him. "They killed our leaders," he said, his tone resolute. "This wasn't just an attack, it was a message." Elliot Shaw, a sharp-witted intelligence officer, interrupted, holding up his tablet. "You're going to love this, Victor. The assassins, they're boasting. Openly. On encrypted channels, no less." Chris Gale, no longer laughing, leaned in close. His usual bravado was replaced with grim resolve. "You know what this means, don't you? We can't just sit here and wait for them to pick us off one by one. We need to act." Victor nodded, clenching his jaw. "Not with rage," he replied, "but with precision. We can't afford mistakes." The room fell silent as everyone processed the weight of his words. Then Elliot, ever the pragmatist, broke the tension. "If they underestimated us this much, that's our advantage. Their arrogance is their weakness." Chris smirked. "Our defenses are crippled, and you think we have the upper hand?" Victor placed a firm hand on Chris's shoulder. "Their overconfidence is our opportunity. They've forgotten what makes humanity strong, our resilience, our adaptability." The monitors flickered again, showing a new transmission. This time, it revealed the location of one of the Empire's command posts. Victor adjusted his tie and stood tall. "They came to our home and killed our people. It's time to show them the cost of underestimating humanity." The team moved with purpose, boarding an unmarked vehicle. As the engines roared to life, Victor's mind raced. The Galactic Council would soon receive a message, not a plea for peace, but a warning. Humanity would not be silenced. In the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, Victor Hall stood alone. The translucent dome above shimmered with the light of distant stars, a constant reminder of humanity's place in the cosmos. Victor's voice rang out, steady and commanding. "I stand here, not as an ambassador, but as a representative of a grieving world. The attacks on Earth, the murder of our leaders, were acts of war, sanctioned by this council's inaction." Whispers rippled through the chamber. Alien representatives exchanged uneasy glances. Councilor Zarth, a smug amphibian-like creature, leaned forward with a sneer. Bold words for a species so insignificant. Victor didn't flinch. "We have proof," he said, nodding to Elliot. who displayed intercepted communications on a holographic screen. The evidence was undeniable. Clear orders from the Empire to the assassins. The whispers grew louder, some in shock, others in denial. General Threx, a reptilian figure clad in elaborate armor, growled. If the Empire is innocent, they should welcome an investigation to clear their name. Victor's sharp gaze met Threx's. If the Empire has nothing to hide, let them prove it. Otherwise, humanity will act alone. And I assure you, our response will not be measured. The chamber fell into a heavy silence. The human delegation turned and left, their mission far from over. As Victor stepped out into the alien skyline, he allowed himself a small smirk. Humanity might have been underestimated, but the galaxy would soon learn just how dangerous that mistake could be. The palace is a stronghold with layers of elite guards and defense systems. Furthermore, it's not just dangerous, it's suicidal. Victor looked him in the eye without flinching. The galaxy can only be shown in this manner. Humanity will not tolerate them. If we wait, the Empire will treat us like prey and strike us more forcefully. We must hit first, and we must strike with force. Elliot, relaxing while tilting his chair, replied, I didn't mean to offend, Victor, but I hope you have a more comprehensive plan than just assaulting the stronghold and holding out hope for the best. Jason raised a brow. That sounds like something, he muttered. Victor glared at him. Shaw, keep talking, and perhaps I'll unintentionally abandon you when this all goes down. Jason smirked, the smallest trace of a smile pulling at his lips. Victor continued. We're not going to overrun the palace. Elliot, you've been interfering with their communications. What can you tell us about their security? Elliot swiped at his tablet. Their defenses are overconfident, similar to their leadership style. Their energy grid has a weak spot, a maintenance tunnel that avoids their main scanners. If we have access, there will be a clear route to the palace. Victor nodded. Well, at lesser levels, we only require a diversion to pull their forces away. Jason crossed his arms. I'll lead a small strike team in a deception attack, hitting one of their external outposts. That ought to be sufficient to compel them to reroute their troops. Victor thought for a moment. Risky, but effective. You'll need to hold them off long enough to allow us to infiltrate. Elliot tapped his pen against the table. Jason gets to blow things up and I get to crawl through a tunnel. Why do all the glamorous jobs always come my way? Because only you can function under duress without getting shot. Victor laughed, though the humor was fleeting. His voice grew solemn. This is more than simply overthrowing the king. The purpose of this mission is to convey a message. If we succeed, the council will be left with no choice but to take us seriously. And if we don't? Jason clapped Victor's shoulder. We won't fail. You're our leader, and you never lose. Victor shook his head. Adulation will only take you so far. Despite the earnestness in Jason's tone, Victor glanced around the table, observing the men who had placed their lives in his hands. This is bigger than any of us. Let's ensure we succeed. As the preparations got underway, Elliot pored over schematics, learning every nuance of their network. Jason worked in tandem with military leaders, hand-selecting his strike team for the diversionary attack. Meanwhile, Victor finalized the Diplomat's contingency plan, a statement to deliver to the Galactic Council outlining the Empire's transgressions and humanity's determination. On the day of the expedition, Victor stood in a small observation room, staring out at the vast terrain of Earth bathed in hues of red and orange. Each year, he was reminded of the beauty of the planet he fought to defend. Elliot's voice broke through his thoughts. You realize it's okay to look worried. Let someone else shoulder the burden for a change. Victor chuckled quietly. If I changed, you'd complain about work becoming too easy. Elliot stepped into the room. We've got this. And if all goes as planned, I'll make sure your eulogy is appropriately dramatic. Victor smirked. Strangely reassuring, Elliot. The consequences of their actions loomed large as Victor and his team exited the castle. They had won the fight, but the battle for humanity's place in the galaxy had only just begun. Victor took one last look at the palace, its golden walls now tarnished by the smoke of battle. His thoughts lingered on the sacrifices made and the risks taken. Elliot walked beside him, his face grim but determined, a silent reminder that their mission was far from over. "Let's go," Victor said, his voice steady despite the ache in his body. Elliot nodded, adding, "We have work to do." The team moved quickly through the palace grounds, avoiding the watchful eyes of the remaining guards. Every step felt heavier than the last, but the weight of their victory kept them moving. The stealth ship awaited them, hidden in the shadows of the Empire's capital. As they boarded, Jason greeted them with a weary grin. "I was beginning to think you weren't coming back," he said, slinging his rifle over his shoulder. Victor gave him a faint smile. "You know me. I like to keep you guessing." The ship lifted off silently, its cloaking system activated as they broke through the atmosphere. Inside, the team finally allowed themselves to breathe, the tension easing ever so slightly. Elliot leaned back in his seat, glancing at Victor. "You know, for a suicidal mission, that went surprisingly well." Victor chuckled softly. "Let's not make a habit of it." The group exchanged tired smiles, their camaraderie a testament to the trust and bond they had built.